Hi everyone, Mahesh here. We recently spun out of X, the Moonshot factory, into an independent company called Taara. One of the questions that has been raised recently is, hasn't free space optical communications or wireless optical communications tried before? What's new and how do we solve for some of the challenges associated with weather, fog, rain? We have been working in this space for the last 8 years to try and pioneer. We have a team of silicon photonics to optics engineers to manufacturing engineers who have been working on this problem, and we have now found a way by which we can provide very high quality and very high reliable high-speed internet access of up to 20 gigabits per second up to a distance of up to 20 kilometers. The way we do this is by having beams of light which is able to point, detect and steer and maintain connectivity through all the different tower sways and all of the challenges associated with traditional free space optical solutions. In particular, we have also developed algorithms and software solutions which allows us to do error corrections as well as detect any movements along the beam path and retransmit those beams. In addition to all of these things, we have dramatically found a way to reduce the overall cost of our solution and also mass produce this in such a way where this is now commercially viable. Today, we are now live in over a dozen plus countries around the world, and we are providing very high speed, affordable internet access. So in terms of when it comes to rain or fog, we are able to handle disturbances into the terminals from tower sways, but we also have enough link margin in our systems to reduce the perturbations associated with rain. When it comes to fog, we are able to plow through some of the fog, but in most cases we end up using a hybrid solution, so we can switch down to a different frequency in order to be able to continue maintaining connectivity throughout that beam path. So one of the advancements that we are making in the core technology is not just using light for where it is being used today, but we are now ready to make the next leap forward towards shrinking some of the core components such as the moving mirrors and some of the electronics inside our existing Taara light bridge terminal into the size of a single chip, the size of my fingernail. And this chip has now the potential to transmit, receive and steer light at tens of gigabits per second. And that chip is today available in a concept and a prototype form, and we have been able to prove that it can communicate chip to chip at tens of gigabits per second indoors. We are now in the process of productizing that, and that we believe is going to be the next leap. Conventional ways of solving for connectivity involved use of radio frequency, and in particular, roughly every decade we went from 2G to 3G to 4G, every decade looking for higher and higher speeds and more spectrum to be able to pack more number of users to deliver higher bandwidth. We are ultimately heading towards a path where we only have a limited amount of RF spectrum before we run into the terahertz gap, which is that part of the electromagnetic spectrum where it is very difficult to transmit or receive any kind of energy. Not only that, the terahertz gap is that part of the electromagnetic spectrum which is too fast for electronics, but is also too slow for optics. So traditional operators have switched over to the light generation using fiber optics. What we are trying to do as Taara is to usher in a new generation which allows us to use the flexibility of radio frequency, but with all the throughput of fiber optics. So essentially it's fiber, but just over the air. And that's essentially why Taara has been pioneering the light generation to provide a very high speed, reliable connections from point to point. So overall, we think free space optical communications is now prime for the market and is ready to take us to the next leap forward towards enabling abundant and affordable access for everyone. And I want to take this moment to thank all our partners and ISPs and fiber operators around the world who have been using this technology and have really derived the full value and the potential of unlocking the light generation.